Hey, it's James Mulvaney here. Welcome along to this video. Now, if you're in a position where perhaps you want to build a podcasting setup, a video studio or a live streaming setup in your workplace, then stay tuned because this video I'm going to be talking about this setup that we've put together for one of our clients here at podcast.co. We regularly do studio builds and we're regularly asked what sort of equipment should I put into my office space. Maybe you have a spare boardroom or a space that you want to turn into a dedicated recording studio for podcasting, video, that kind of thing. I'm going to be talking through the setup we've got here, why we've selected all this equipment and how it's going to all work. So stay right there. So in this video, I'm going to be talking through this live streaming and podcasting setup here, which we're building for a client. Currently, we've got it installed here in our office, but we're actually going to be installing it on site for MKL Innovations in Wakefield. They are a company that specialises in mechanical and electrical Internet of Things. You might be asking, what is that? Well, one of the great things about using podcast in your business is a fantastic way of communicating what it is you actually do. So that's one of the reasons that MKL Innovation want to create a podcasting studio. They've asked for a video setup as well. So we've got this entire setup which we've put together, this custom package. We regularly do studio builds for clients and quite often we'll actually go in and fit this out. So we'll show you some clips of that in this video as well. But firstly, I wanted to talk you through this setup and basically just explain what we've got and why we've got it. So let's start here at the business end of things. We've got two microphones. These are Shure SM7B microphones. Why do we choose this particular mic? This is kind of the gold standard when it comes to podcasting microphones. They're really popular. They're used by a lot of professional podcasters. Why are they popular? Well, firstly, they sound amazing. When you're close up especially, and which is what you want because you don't want to be picking up on too much background noise. So when you're really close up to the microphone like I am now, they sound absolutely phenomenal. They're really good for a good range of different voice types, so male, female, people who have got maybe deeper voices, more high-pitched voices, etc. This microphone, generally speaking, very versatile, works for everyone. So we've got these microphones mounted on two boom arms. These boom arms are by a company called Frameworks. They've actually got built-in XLR cables, which is really useful. Boom arms are really important. They serve two crucial purposes. Number one, they allow you to position the microphone right in front of you when you're speaking, which is great. Quite often tabletop stands, they're a little bit too low, or if you buy a USB mic, quite often the stand built into them is too low down. You need to raise it up and get it on level with your mouth. The other thing, of course, is you can move it out the way when you're not using it, which is great if you've got a workstation set up and perhaps you want to use your computer for other things. The second reason of using a boom arm is basically it acts as a shock absorber. So if you've kind of got people who are perhaps touching the desk or you've got vibrations running through the floor or anything like that, it really helps dampen down any kind of noise which maybe is going up into the microphone and really acts as a shock absorber. So there we go, two Shure SM7B microphones, both mounted on boom arms. Now let's move on to the core, which is here we have an iMac computer. Now we generally prefer Macs. We use them across our production team when we're creating video and audio. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy the latest iMac in order to record a podcast. This client particularly wanted it because they think it looks pretty cool and they want to have that sort of aesthetic within their studio, which is fine if you want to go and do that, of course. But the point I'm trying to make here is you don't need to go out and spend a lot of money on a computer. In fact, to record a podcast, simple Windows laptop or a regular desktop computer will do just fine. Don't think you need to go out and invest a lot of money buying a fancy Mac in order to record a podcast. So one thing you might want to think about when you're recording a podcast is a mixing desk. This is the Rodecaster Pro. You can have up to 4 microphones connected to this, as in this case we've only got 2. We've got these mics set up on faders 1 and 2. This also allows me to connect multiple pairs of headphones, so everyone who's sat behind a microphone gets a great idea of what's been said and they can hear themselves speaking as well as other people in the studio. Again, you can control the headphone levels directly on this board. This has also got various other bits of functionality. You can actually record directly to an SD card, so you don't even actually need a computer. However, in this case, we have got this connected via a USB-C cable to our iMac. So you might be wondering, what is all of this stuff sat up here? What are these white panels and why have we got a big camera set up in front? Why are we not just using the webcam? Well, generally speaking now when we're recording podcasts for clients, we always record a video, and when we are working with clients, we always suggest that they use video as well as audio. This is for a couple of reasons. Number one, for marketing. It allows us to create assets which then get published to various different social media channels. So, for example, it might be LinkedIn videos, it could be Facebook, Twitter, etc. All these platforms allow us to upload video very easily and post it to our timelines or share it with our audiences. So it's really crucial that we can actually cut those assets out of the podcast, those short, really valuable bits of information, and turn them into clips for marketing. The other reason is you actually want to record your podcast as a whole video, and ideally you can actually upload that to YouTube as well. Again, YouTube is another great platform to distribute podcasts, which is completely separate to things like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, but it shouldn't be ignored as a great source of traffic for your podcast. Now, why have we got a camera set up and lights? Why are we not just using the built-in webcam in our Mac here? Well, this is because we simply want good quality video. Now, as you can see here, we are using a bit of software called StreamYard to record. Again, various different options here. As you can see currently, we're a little bit in the darkness. If I'm sat down in front of my computer, you can see here, this is the webcam that's actually recording me. It gives me greater quality than the built-in computer webcam would give. But we actually have two lights which are connected. I can actually turn these on and off via my computer, which is great. These are Elgato key lights, and as I mentioned, you can wire these up so they're connected to your computer. And again, these are completely height adjustable. We've got these mounted on some stands, so we can raise and lower these as required to get the best results for our client. But immediately when you turn the lights on, you just get a crisper, sharper image. So it's always good to start with good lighting. If you don't want to go out and spend money on a fancy camera, but you have good lighting, you can use your built-in webcam and it will help with the appearance of it. 100% always recommend lighting. Furthermore, we've decided to run with a Sony camera rather than using the built-in webcam because it gives us 4K quality video. This is an Sony a6400. It's really good at facial recognition and autofocus, so wherever I'm moving, if I'm moving further backwards or further forwards, it will always keep me nice and sharp and in focus. We've got this wired up to the computer via the HDMI cable. Again, really important, if you want to choose a camera for live streaming or recording a podcast, you make sure that it's got HDMI out, and we're actually connecting this to the computer via Elgato Camlink, which is a bit of USB technology, connects to your computer, and it has an HDMI port on the other end. So if you're thinking about installing a podcasting studio for your office or your business, please get in touch with us here at podcast.co. As I mentioned, we've got a dedicated production team who are always on hand and happy to help you out when it comes to sorting out podcast studio and also producing podcasts as well. You can email us, our email is hello@podcast.co, or you can click on the link in the description to find out more information. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you found it really useful. If you're thinking about creating a podcast studio, leave a comment. I'd be intrigued to know what setup you've got currently, or if you're thinking about upgrading your setup. Always good to know what you guys are up to. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Hey, wait, before you go, perhaps you're looking to start a podcast for your business. And did you know that most businesses make the same exact mistakes? Whenever we work with clients who are struggling to get their podcast off the ground, or they're not getting the traction that they deserve, it turns out that most of the time they're making the same mistake. So what I've done is I've compiled a guide, which is called the 5-Step Business Podcast Checklist, which will show you exactly what you need to know to get your podcast up and running without making the same mistakes that most other people do. So you can download it for free at jamesm.com/podcast. That's jamesm.com/podcast. Go and grab your copy today.